Mr. Rodney Koop, how are you?
Hey, I'm incredibly happy.
You're always an incredibly happy guy.
And it's funny. I don't care where I am. Somebody says, "How are you?" I say, "I'm happy." I've been saying that as long as I know. And the reason is my first memory as a human being was noticing that adults were either miserable or happy. I had an uncle that was always happy. And I think I was about 3 or 4. And I seriously thought, I'm going to be happy.
You made a decision to be happy.
I've been happy my whole life.
You know what I do, and I think it drives my family nuts, is it rains a lot here in the Pacific Northwest. Like a lot. And I walk outside and it's pouring rain and I just say, what a nice day. I've got to just put, such a nice day. And then they say, why is it nice? I'm like, the ducks and the geese just love it. And I'm happy for the ducks and the geese.
Well, I grew up on the Canadian border on this side, and it was always, boy, she's a cold one. Yeah, boy, she's a cold one.
Yeah. Well, hey, Rodney, I know you. I actually know you pretty well. You were on my other show because you're actually a big deal in the HVAC world. But here you are on the cabinet making show. Why don't I let you tell the story? Rodney Koop, who the heck are you? And how is it you get to be talking to all these business and shop owners in the woodworking industry?
That's exactly right. And I'll start by saying I was in the grocery store the other day, and a lady from church that I hadn't seen in a while, her and her husband were talking to me. And her husband says, "Oh, well, Rodney's doing woodworking now." And she says, "Oh," she says, "do you make furniture?" And I said, "Well, that would be a stretch." So it's almost a little embarrassing to be here because I've been doing woodworking, give or take, for about 2 years, and we can talk about that. But basically, I grew up in a contracting family. My dad was an electrical contractor. My brothers were electricians. My uncles were electricians. Everybody I knew was electrician. And I thought, anybody can do this. If you're going to be anything in life, it's not going to be electrician. But I was forced into the trade.
Yeah.
Today we'd call that slave labor.
How old were you when you started?
Just get your butt out of bed and go help your brothers in the truck. I suppose 10 or 11 the first time they took my skinny runt to help pull wires through a small place. But really I started summers 13 and 14. By 15, it was a regular thing. And but that's all I knew. The good thing was this. I didn't even realize it at the time, but working for my dad as in electrical, even though I was a know-nothing apprentice, I still made usually at least 3 times what my other classmates were making on their part-time summer jobs.
Oh, that's
skilled labor just pays better.
Yeah, it does.
But I didn't think anything of it. I'd have rather been making ice cream cones at the Dairy World than crawling through attics. But
you've reinvented from there, because I know you through a company that you've started, which is called the New Flat Rate, and you guys you do menu pricing for mechanical contractors.
Right.
But you're retired from that now. One of your kids is running that company, and now you what do you call it? Do you putter around? You're a one-man shop. That's why you're here. You're here because somebody emailed me and says, "Hey, Dom, you never talked to the one-man shop." And I know you, and I'm like, "Rodney, get on the show. We got to talk about the one-man shop."
Well, that may be the case, but think about this. All those years of contracting, in 1990, I started my own business, electrical business, did mostly, I wanted to do service work, ended up doing big commercial industrial jobs. But the industrial jobs, I'd make a lot of money. The commercial jobs, they were just to keep my guys busy in between. All the money we made in industrial, we lost in low bid commercial.
Oh, gee.
And we did this feast or famine thing for a long time. Then I bought a HVAC company, started a plumbing company. But my mantra was this: if anybody else ran this company, we'd all be rich.
Oh my gosh.
I was a lousy businessman. And like any service technician, I was a great electrician and figured I'd be a good, I could run a company. And during the easy times, it was easy. I had worked for a big company, so I was a professional estimator. I had been a project manager.
Mm.
I was on the board of directors at like 27 years old or something. So I advanced really quickly in that.
Yeah.
So of course thought I was pretty darn smart, right?
It's a tough combo, smart and good looking. How do you get through life? I mean,
but I'll tell you one thing I did that I think is good advice for everybody. Whenever I came home at the end of the day, I'd get out of my pickup or whatever, comb my hair,
okay,
and walk into the house as if nothing had happened.
just put it all behind you.
No matter if I was, there were times I'd get out of bed at 2 a.m. My wife would say, "Where are you going?" And I'd say, "I'm going to the office." She'd say, "Why would you go to the office at 2 a.m.?" And I'd say, "To worry." And it was the honest truth. I was just sometimes so stressed out, didn't know how I was going to make payroll. At one time, my banker called and said, "Rodney, we've paid $21,000 in overdrafts on your account as of this morning. Can you make a deposit?"
Oh boy.
And if nothing else, I've always been a good communicator and a good negotiator. And I would say this wonderful statement, feel free to use it with your banker. Do you think I can make a deposit today? Anyway,
oh boy.
So I went through some tough times like we all do.
I wish we'd met. I wish we'd met then.
You probably could have helped me. Now, I will say behind me, that's just part of my 4,000 or 5,000 book library. But on that is $350,000 worth of best practice groups, tapes, videos, seminars, sales trainers, coaches, you name it. I wrote a check for anything when anybody promised me that they could take my business, fix it, and give me something I could run.
Show you a way forward. Yeah.
Refinanced my house 3 times to keep from filing bankruptcy. And the last time, the 4th time, my wife said no, she wouldn't sign the papers.
I've had enough.
Kind of like, if you screw it all up, I'm at least going to have a house that's paid for.
Yeah. Fair enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. But, but my struggle was always, oh, wait, there's something on my back here. Oh, what? Oh,
gee. That was
so
well
this
done,
was my
Rodney.
struggle. See, why won't they pay me what I'm worth? And so in the service businesses, trying everything, trying to get my technicians. Go ahead.
Let me stop you for a second, because not everybody's watching this as a video. And so that little grunting you heard Rodney do in there, he pulled out his book. I forgot about the book, so thanks for reminding me. And the book's called Why Won't They Pay Me What I'm Worth?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so for anybody listening, now I know we're aiming this a little bit towards the smaller shop, because you've got, now that you're retired or semi-retired, you're making things. You showed me around the shop a few minutes ago, but that would still be a really interesting read, I think, for anybody in any trade. Why won't they pay me? Yeah. What's the short answer? Why won't they pay me what I'm worth?
That's right. Well, and the reason is because you don't know how to ask for the money. For example, and you don't know how to price your jobs. Any cabinet maker, whether he's a one-man shop, I don't care if you're making I'll just give you one little tool here that I guarantee will make you a ton of money. And it's very simple. Somebody, a friend, relative, or a customer or whatever asks you to build something. It might be a piano bench, a bench for their shop, but whatever the heck it is, something for their house, something that you can make, and maybe bookshelves or something. Here's this take 2 seconds to tell you how to make more money than you can ever imagine. So let's just say it's a bookcase for their whatever, their living room, their bedroom, their whatever. Anyway, and it's very simple. Obviously, there's different woods. Well, we could do it out of pine. We could do cherry, oak, walnut, or something like that, right? But it's very simple. The wood is one thing. So the customer's going to have colors and things. Yeah. So you can settle on that. Okay, well, I would like a cherry, but that'll be so pretty, cherry. That, obviously, gee, that'll be just great. And then the customer this is what I have in mind. They show you a picture, right? And you can, oh, wow, that's really great. You always got to love whatever the customer brings to you. You always have to brag on their house, their equipment. Oh my gosh, I love that. You want to match that book? Oh, I just love that. Yeah. Okay, now, ever how you calculate your price. Let's say that you come up with, you figure you could do it, make a little money at $900, okay? So $900, you're pretty sure the customer would be happy with that. Here's where here's the silver tuna. Here's the big fish. Here's where money is in business. $900. I can do it for $900, okay? Before you ever talk to the customer, you have to ask yourself, what could I do for $2,900? Think about it. You have knowledge, wisdom, experience, craftsmanship, creativity, tender loving care. You know, you have all of these things that the customer thinks everybody has.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
You're going to be $900 for a bookshelf. Well, this guy over here will do it for $695. What do you think? What do you think when you hear that? Well, yeah, but it's going to be a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Or this guy do it for $400. Yeah, because he's got.
Or you're offended because it's your mom's best friend's neighbor, and you got called in, and they told you you're the greatest, and now they're price shopping you. Right,
because they don't know about your knowledge, wisdom, skills, craftsmanship, experience. They don't know about that.
They don't. Okay? They kind of don't care. They just want the cherry bookcase.
They think it's a commodity. They think anybody can do it. They think everybody that hangs up a shelf. Now that guy that's doing it offered for $695. Let's face it. He might do a great. He might be a lot smarter than me. He might be better than me. Okay. Yeah. But the only reason she's talking to him is because he's cheaper than me. So it's a commodity. Now, here's what you have to know. And you need to write this down. You need to put it up on the wall in your shop. You need to tattoo it to your big toe. And it needs to say this. It's always about price until you make it about something else.
Okay, I was hoping you were going to extend that. So it's always about price until I make it about something else.
That's your job. That's what the menu does at McDonald's. It's a hamburger. Now think about this. Now you may have heard me say it, but I've never said it this way. Watch. Back in the day, they had hamburgers, and they were great. They were, in my day, they were a nickel or 10 cents or something. But you could have the hamburger. Then when they became entrepreneurial, they realized they could make more money if they could throw in some add-ons.
Right.
So then it was, hey, you want cheese with that? It's only 2 cents more, or whatever the heck.
Yeah.
And so you decide, do I want cheese for 2 cents? Yeah, give me the cheese. Okay. Now what? Oh, now they made an extra penny. Or let's say it's a 25-cent burger and it's 30 cents with cheese. Yeah. Okay. Then, because you're in sales, you know about the Wheeler Witch, right? You know about the Wheeler Witch?
No, I don't. Tell me.
The Wheeler Witch is how they made milkshakes so profitable. Okay. Here's a chocolate milkshake and another 5 cents for an egg. Okay, a raw egg into it. That was a big deal back in the day, right?
Wow. Okay.
Good for chickens. And so it'd be milkshakes, 15 cents, or let's say 25 cents. 25 cents. Hey, you want an egg with that for 5 cents? Well, then it's yes or no, right? And it's like the thought, why would I want an egg? You know? And so now it's a milkshake, 25 cents. And on the sign, it says eggs, 5 cents. So the Wheeler Witch is this. It's which do you want? And so can I have a chocolate milkshake? Oh, great. You want that with 1 egg or 2? See? You immediately give them a choice.
Right.
Now, 8 times out of 10, you sell an egg where you used to do it like 2 or 3 times out of 10. That's called the Wheeler Witch. The guy's name was Wheeler, something Wheeler.
Okay. Okay.
Now, in the hamburger, see? So it's, you want that with cheese? Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. Okay, then they went to the Wheeler Witch. Hey, do you want that with cheese or tomato? I'll take the tomato. Can I have both? Yeah, you can have both. You know, so that was how they sell, right? Now the brilliance Are you ready? I'm telling you, here comes the brilliance. And by the way, I haven't completely told the rest of my $2,900 cabinet story, but here's the brilliance. Here's the cheeseburger. Here's the hamburger. You have to, it's always about price until you make it about something else. Two things you have to do for a hamburger that you can do in your cabinet shop. Number one, you have to choose a low cost, high value item.
Okay. Yeah.
Low cost, high value. McDonald's has a 99-cent cheeseburger. They have 7 cents profit in it. They take a piece of cheese for 5 cents and they add it to it. Okay.
Right.
Now they cut the profit down to 2 cents. Okay. But now they could say, hey, this is a hamburger with cheese and it's $1.20. The market would be like, what are you trying to sell me? What are you trying to push on me?
Yeah.
You have to do two things. One, you have to add the low cost, high value item. Number two, you have to change the name.
You have to call it something.
And what do you call a hamburger with a slice of cheese?
A cheeseburger.
Or
a Royale with cheese if you're watching.
No, don't waste your time. I don't know what that is. Here's the thing. If you have the choice and you're hungry and there's a hamburger and there's a cheeseburger, is there a huge difference in your mind? Oh my gosh, give me the cheeseburger.
Yeah, I mean, I always want the cheeseburger, but there's no difference between the two.
What they did is they took a hamburger with 7 cents profit. And back then they were selling 50 million a year or something like that. Then they added the low cost, high value item, and now they sell it for $1.99. 5 cent investment to get another 95 cents in cash money.
Right.
Took McDonald's from a hamburger joint to the largest holder of prime real estate in the entire world.
So how do we do this with cabinets? How do we take that 900?
Never grasp that. So you have to ask yourself, okay, so I got an $800, $900 cabinet, but the commodity people out there are anywhere $300 less to $300 over, and they're trying to convince the customer that it's because we use odorless, tasteless, food-safe finish. Who gives a crap? Have you ever dropped a piece of meat or a tomato, not you, but a kid, on a bookcase or on a cabinet, picked it up and ate it? Did you die? No, no, it's basically food safe.
I would still do that as an adult. If it landed on something.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it.
5-second rule.
That's right.
As long as mama kept the table fairly clean. I mean, some people even drop it on the ground. Here's the point. They take a low cost, doesn't cost much more to put walrus butter on a butcher block versus mineral oil. The difference, by the way, between walrus butter and mineral oil, because I've done the research. We have the internet now, Google. We have libraries. We haven't said, you do the research and you're going to find that mineral oil and walrus oil, butter, about the same darn thing.
Same thing. But it sounds exotic.
Oh my gosh. Because they changed the name.
Right.
They changed the name. Now
made it proprietary.
Yeah. So I'm doing a butcher block thing. And the other day, my wife, she doesn't really have anything to do with my hobby out here, but she was in a store and she knew I was doing a butcher block for my daughter-in-law. And so she came in with some kind of butcher block butter or something. Oh, she's not even in the business, but it looked so good in the store. She thought, surely I didn't know about it. I'd never heard about it. I would be I'm going to put this on. Anyway. Let's go back to that $900 bookshelf.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've thought this through. This is just all off the top of my head. But the way that you do it, you have to ask yourself, okay, so it's $900. 9 times 3 is $2,700. So multiply it times 3 and just say, if the customer just came in and said, you see this picture? Yeah. Okay. I want a bookcase like that. But I want you I mean, seriously, I've heard that you're really talented. You have talent, skill, knowledge, wisdom, experience. I just really want you to bring it to the table. I want you to just come out of your soul, out of yourself with just the best thinking and the most tender love and care. And to allow you to do that, here's $2,700 cash. I'm going to pay in advance.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know what your price is, but this is what I have. And I want you to use every dime of it by bringing out your soul into this bookcase. I want it to look like this $500 one here, but what can you do? Now, this is the key to greatness, guys and gals. You have to ask yourself, seriously, get yourself a notepad. Get a notepad. Use a darn computer. I don't care.
Yeah.
But just start writing. If I had $2,700, what could I do? Well, number one, I'm going to use the finest hardwood that fits the bill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to buy South African bloodwood because that stuff is crap. I got a whole bunch of it when my brother-in-law's house burnt off one of the floors, and they were throwing away these. This is a multi-million-dollar house. Throwing away the most gorgeous. I've never seen such a gorgeous floor, and it was South African bloodwood. Then they were throwing. So I went and I got
salvaged it. Yeah.
Yeah. I burnt up I burnt up a planer. Oh my gosh.
Why? Is it just so hard?
It's so hard. I took a piece of it and put it outside in a bucket of water for several days. Didn't even
didn't do it.
Didn't. But it's too anyway. I just said that for the fun of it because some wood, even though it may be exotic and cool, just too darn hard to work with.
Yeah.
Hard on your tool. Okay. But I got $2,700. What can I make this out of? Now, if I'm going to use cherry or walnut or ash or something,
Russian birch, something, whatever you want to make it. Yeah.
The best wood that I can get because I've got the money for it, right? Okay, then I'll probably go online because I'm not those guys on TV. I'd go online and I'd probably look at 20 YouTube videos and I'd find some craftsmen and not hand tools. I don't do chisels and hand planes. Okay. You know what I mean? Well, I got a really nice hand plane. I got a power plane, but chisel, my gosh.
Yeah. We got routers for that.
Yeah, I'm not that guy. Find something that I can make. Maybe even I have to build a couple of jigs for it or buy a couple of small tools. You know what I mean? And then whatever the nicest wood that I can get, I'll get some really nice wood. Maybe go to the sawmill and have them cut me some what do we call it? 8/4, which is 2 inch thick. Anyway, you get the point.
Yeah.
I'm going to find the best wood that I can. And then I'm going to decide on my joinery. Am I going to use pocket screws? Probably not. I might on the $800 one, but I'm not on the $2,700 one. I might use box joints, dovetail joints. Those of you that are cabinet, the dovetail joint, is that not the biggest? Everybody gets a pair of some cabinets from Home Depot or something, and then they show them to, oh, look, it's got dovetail joints. Oh my gosh, made by some stupid machine in the back.
It's mechanical, but it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful.
So I'm going to use some beautiful joints, unless they don't want them. But so there's some things you can do with. Anyway, you get the point.
I do.
I'm going to choose.
Yeah.
Something just really, really beautiful.
You want it to stand out. You want them to capture. You want them to buy that thing and the beauty of it with the right words.
For me. Yeah. And I don't even know, like, we'll talk about my experience in a while, which there isn't much. I don't know what you call everything. So let's say you've got a nice 3/4 inch hardwood shelf, and then you put a 1 inch piece of nice milled hardwood on the front. I don't know what you call that, a bowl. I don't know, but the point is, you can easily, if I got $2,700 to work with, bam, 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 all the way down. And then, what is it, Mr. Customer? I've been thinking about your project, and I've got a couple of options here for you. Would you like to hear them? Yeah. Well, my top one, it is the most premium. but it also really has some features I think that you'd like. First of all, you should know that it's going to be professionally milled, professional grade lumber, blah blah blah, whatever the lumber is. But but it uses these XYZ joints. It
It's
uses
kiln dried, so it'll never warp. Moisture, and
Exactly.
humidity, and yeah.
We're obviously we use only the finest glues and all this kind of stuff. But I also want you to know about this one. This one's professionally installed. You can't just pick it up here, okay? Before we start, we'll come to your house. Even though it's a bookshelf, I want you to show me where you're going to put it. And if you don't mind, I'll take a picture of that and I'll do some measurements because I want it to really look special. When it's set there. And so on delivery day, we'll bring it there. Obviously, we wrap it in cashmere sweaters or some darn thing. I don't know. But we're going to protect it and bring it there, set it there. And when we do that, if it's okay with you, we'd like to take a picture of it once it's there and maybe let us know what kind of things you want to put on it, you know.
Of course, so we know the shelf height and depth. And
shelf height, depth. Yeah, right. We don't just want to put on pinholes in it, you know, so you can put all we want it to be custom made, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
This is a very, very special bookshelf. Now, I could have one or two in between, Mr. Customer, just so you know. But if we did all that, obviously it'd be $2,732. But don't worry, we take care of the delivery and everything. And we also do have financing. But you may not want that. You may, here's another option that's only 22 something. Here's one at 1,600.
Right.
And our bottom option, Mr. Customer, is right down here, and it's $1,100. And it's very special, but it's not gonna, I really like to do something that just stands out for you. What should we do? What's going to happen?
Well, they're going to make the choice based on all that education you just gave them. You're selling the dream. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good word. Selling the dream. By the way, that is a way better word than the one you used before that, education. Because they didn't call me to get educated. They called me for the dream. Okay. Selling the dream. That's beautiful. You see, but you have to paint the dream. But the way you paint it is you have to take what you think is a good price, multiply it by at least 3, and then you start dreaming. What could I do with my talent?
Right.
What about my skill, my knowledge, my wisdom, my experience, my craftsmanship? Where does my tender, loving care come in? Mr. Customer, you don't just pick this up.
Yeah.
We'll bring it on delivery day and we'll install it. And we want to get a picture. It's got to stand out, okay? And my personal responsibility, I'm the guy that has to protect it. So it'll be wrapped up. Your walls won't get scratched. When we put it there and when we take the cover off, I want you to just be so in love with it.
I love it. You've sold. I mean, the story is what I'm buying here. I want the thing now.
Right.
And you know what goes through my mind is it's asking the questions from the customer, the potential customer. What do you need this for? Some people are going to say, hey, it's a gun cabinet. I just want somewhere to display my guns and all that stuff. And you can just ask a simple question. Well, do you have little kids in the house? Yeah, we do. Well, do you want some beautiful jewelry retail display grade doors on the bottom so you can still show the beautiful things, but the kids don't get in there without you wanting them to? And we can put a lock on it, and then you can have an open section up above, and pretty soon you're making custom gun cabinets with beautiful lighting, beautiful glass, steel accents. And like you said, you can go all the way from I just need somewhere to hang these things to I could really have a piece here.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Selling the dream.
And the nice thing about furniture, cabinets, that kind of stuff totally brings joy to people. Obviously the kitchen cabinets. Here's the thing. When you're talking to somebody about cabinets and countertops, in their mind, okay, what they're seeing is a beautiful, clean, for the only time, kitchen, and they're seeing it with in their mind, they see 2 glasses of wine on that granite countertop and the light's low, maybe a candle or something. That's what it's all about. Yeah. oh, give me some wood and some granite. No, you want you're buying an experience.
Yeah, we have to find out what they want. What's their dream? What does
Yeah.
that look like? And so you do that as you've taken that experience of being this entrepreneur, because I know the other company that you started. And I know now you're running a wood shop. How does that bleed over into, I think you said you're making a butcher block. Is it a table or a standalone butcher block cutting board?
It's a standalone kitchen island butcher block.
Okay.
For my son. But you said you're running a wood shop. Well, even that would be a stretch.
Is that a stretch? Well, but I've got people listening who are one, maybe two people in their shop, and they're kind of happy like that. They don't want to chase profits. They don't want to get over $1 million. They're still listening to the show, which is great. But I thought having you on as a very successful entrepreneur who's now said, you know what I really like? I like the smell of sawdust. I like the feel.
That's not even how it happened. What happened is my daughters ran the company since day one. Remember, I knew somebody else had to run it. She called me up. Her and I talked all the time. And in 2010, talking to her on the phone, she was in California. I was in Georgia. We've always been like best buddies. She says, Dad, you have to quit giving everything away. You have to become a consultant. Mm-hmm. I was so burned out by 2010. I was just so burned out. I was running a business. A lot of good things were happening, but I was burned out. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said, okay, I'll do it, but you have to help me and you can have half. So she's a smart girl. She immediately incorporated and took half the stock, which was quite a dream. Then, long story short, she moved home and worked for about the first 14 months with no pay.
Oh, wow.
She spent all of her savings, her maxed out her credit cards, and she totally invested into the company. I was working with her about 10 hours a day on the new product, and plus kind of running my own business. One of my sons was running the service side. So, every now and then we had money, but point is, she's ran it from day one. So it's very successful, I think, because of that. So what I did about 4 years ago, 4.5, 5 years ago, I started doing a lot of traveling, speaking at conferences, going out and doing whatever. We would put on these events and stuff like that. And I traveled a lot. My wife and I, we've always homeschooled. So at that time we had one of our sons was still at home. He's been all over the darn country with us. Anyway, and then I had an executive assistant that traveled with me. And I always called her my unfair advantage. Wherever I was, I could.
What a nice name. Yeah.
I could be at a cocktail party. It doesn't matter. I'm talking to some big shot, and I'm saying things to him. He's saying things to me, and she's always right there, and she remembers everything. So we get back. She says, "Okay, you promised so and so that you'd send him this video and this book and this." And see, I couldn't do that by myself. So anyway. We traveled for about 2.5 years, and I came in to my daughter's office in the summer of 2019, and I said, I am so tired of traveling. She says, Dad, you don't have to travel.
You don't actually have to. Yeah.
You don't have to work hard. She says, you don't even have to be here. I said, I don't. She said, no. I said, so if I walked out that door, you'd be okay, Dad? She says, we'd be fine.
Oh, good.
I said, okay, goodbye. And I left. She picked up the phone, called her brother, who runs our national training side, and she said, I think Dad just quit. So that was in like July. So I stayed gone about a month, and they did all right. And then I'd come back for a week or so at a time. I'd come back, to help them, because I'm the dreamer, I'm the copywriter, I'm the guy with all the ideas. And then December 19th, I saw a woodworking course online called Weekend Woodworkers or something like that, $147.
Right.
Having been a contractor all my life, I had tools. I had some woodworking tools. I knew nothing. Okay.
Well, what kind of tools did you have? You had a skill saw, a sawzall.
Yep. And
a couple of chisels, whether you wanted them or not.
And a planer that I had bought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. but I had a lot of tools. But as far as woodworking, I actually had more than I would have thought. But
okay.
So I always wanted to do woodwork, but to me that was nailing 2x4s together with 16 penny screws until it fell down, or 16 penny nails.
Nails, yeah.
I basically knew that. Anyway, $147. I thought, I think I'll try that. I bought so many things I never did. You know how that is.
Oh.
I thought I might not.
Rodney, I've got stories.
Okay.
When I became partners with Brian Tracy, you've probably taken Brian Tracy courses before.
I've certainly watched plenty of his tapes.
Yeah. Well, so my wife's uncle, he and I were traveling, we're at the cabin together and we had to go do something. And so we're in the truck and he goes, Dominic, he knew that I was a partner with Brian Tracy. He was very excited because Brian's a big name in the world of business improvement, personal improvement. He goes, Dominic, I bought a bunch of Brian Tracy stuff. He goes, it's in my closet and it's brand new. It's still in the wrapper. Do you want it? And I thought to myself, oh, Uncle Irv, you're supposed to open that stuff. You're supposed to listen to it. He just bought it. But it was pristine condition from back in the 80s or something like that. He was so proud. Dominic, do you want it? I'm like, of course. Uncle Irv, I'll take that. Of course. You're supposed to listen to the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, and being the entrepreneur, I'm sure you have too, I would listen to cassette tapes over and over and over and over. Yeah. And I did that for years. I'm talking thousands and thousands of listens on cassette tapes.
I'm not kidding. You know what? I'm not even ashamed to say it. To reprogram my mind into the success mindset, to understanding the way to think differently, to approach. We're all going to encounter problems, but it's what we do with the problem or the challenge or the opportunity. How am I going to approach those things? And I did the same thing. Now, I listened to cassettes and pretty quickly I switched to CDs. Those are gone now. And, here I am now. I run a podcast, but I still listen to lots of podcasts.
Yeah.
I listen to books on tape. I've listened to the Art of War by the General Sun Tzu. I can't even count how many times. And it has to be in almost 100, if not 100 times. Yeah.
You know what I do as a test? Every time they hire somebody new at the new flat rate, after they've been there a week or two, I go in and say hi, and I mean, let's face it, I'm the CEO, I'm the founder, but I go in and I'll hand them, a book, Acres of Diamonds.
Oh.
And which I love, absolutely love. I'll hand them that book and I'll say, hey, here's one of my favorite books. I want you to check it out. Oh yeah, thank you, blah, blah, blah.
They're not going to read it.
And it's a test. It's
See if they read it.
Yeah. If they don't, I am always surprised if I come back a week later and I say, hey, what'd you think of that book? Oh yeah, I took it home. I'm like, what kind of fool are you? What kind of a fool gets handed a book by the CEO and doesn't have the sense to at least read it? Doesn't even think that he'll come back and ask me. Those kind of people, I'm just going to tell you, they're hard to train, hard to teach, hard to mold into what you wanted them to be when you hired them. Yeah. I mean, I love that test.
There's lots of them. There's lots of those tests. And, I see this all the time. We can teach people the success principles. We can teach them what to do in different situations, but you have to go do it. And understand you're probably going to do it wrong.
Right.
What's the saying? Every master was once a disaster.
That's a very good saying.
You have to start by failing and then understand you're going to fail. I remember when I would get a new job or I'd take over a new position. This is when I was in corporate, like go get a new department. And I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to go get my head kicked in for a couple of weeks. I'm going to do everything wrong. We're going to take people on sales calls. We're going to go on contract meetings. We're going to do negotiations. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to screw them up. And then you know what? I'm going to get better because I'm going to learn from every single one. But if I just stayed in my office and thought, I just want to be timid and not understand guess what's going to happen? Nothing. Never going to grow. I'm going to be in a ditch that I think is a rut, that I think is a comfortable place. And then one day they're going to kick some dirt over me and say, who used to sit there? That's not for me.
That's a good point. But just to finish that story really quick, I took that woodworking course. It was 5 projects. And the first project was called a BMW, a basic mobile work.
Oh, okay.
I built that bench. I stood back I was in awe of what I had done. It blew me away. Measuring correctly, cutting correctly, how to glue, how to screw pilot holes. I'm telling you, I was amazed with me, but
Like at your level of skill, what you could accomplish when you put your mind to it.
that was December 19th of 2019. I never went back to the office.
Just now you're in the shop all the time. That's where I've got you today. For those of you who can see the video, we can see you've got all your books there, and the shop is off to your right.
Yeah.
Well, Rodney, it's been great having you on the show. Really, really great. And I hope people that have the 1 or 2 person shop who are, maybe they want to grow, maybe they don't. Whatever it is, choose what you want and go after it. You gave us some great sales tips today. Outstanding. We should have called this sales training by Rodney. What we should have called it.
Dream training.
Dream training. Yeah. Change the name of a dovetail joint to a swallowtail joint or something, and create that difference between what you do and what somebody else does. But you bring up a good point. Like, you can't make a $200 bookshelf. Like, you're just not going to do it. Right. And so if somebody's just shopping you for price, they don't understand the craftsmanship you're putting in.
Right.
They need an RTA system from IKEA or whatever, just go, even it's not even $200 at IKEA.
Right. Like, you can make Adirondack chairs or deck table. You can do stuff like that and just sell them all day long. You can do butcher block. You can do a lot of stuff you can do. But if somebody wants you to create a piece and they're comparing you to somebody else, don't get mad yet. Multiply your price by 3, dream, and then offer them some choices. And you'll usually get a few $100s more, even if they take your bottom option, than you would have gotten before.
Right. That's the good. In sales, we call that good, better, best option. Yeah. I know that's what your menu pricing option, your other company, menu pricing, the new flat rate is.
It is not good, better, best, but that's a good.
Sorry. Sorry. My the sales training piece is called good, better, best, and you have menu pricing, which is a different. It's a on steroids version of good, better, best.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Rodney, thank you.
I explained it in my book. I got to raise the price on my book so I can make some money.
You got to make it $900 for that book.
I'm going to do that.
It's the finest Egyptian paper ever. The ink came from the tears of octopus who were mourning over the loss of the coral reefs. And the best you could do is buy this book so we could rebuild the coral reef.
You know how to do this.
Rodney, thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate it. You are a fantastic presenter. I've loved every minute of this. Thank you.
Well, you have fun, and thanks a lot.
Thanks. Bye-bye.